moves to St. Like, who leaves Southern California and moves to St. Louis, Missouri? And
I did once.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello everybody, I'm Michael Abney with Inspire Realty, and today we are going to be checking out a new place to eat that I've never been before, and also going to be joined by a special friend I recently met. Have you ever had one of those moments where you meet somebody at an event and you're like, damn, I need to know that person for some reason? So I followed the hunch, we had some coffee, and she was talking about this restaurant down in Soulard called Bogart, and she's like, hey, it's been highly recommended to me, love to check it out sometime. And I said, hey, I do these features, come join me. So today she's doing that, and she has a really interesting story because she moved here about 3 years ago from Southern California to St. Louis. What? So she was telling me about her experience, and she's gonna be sharing that with us today and giving us insights on what it's like to move here from another city and fall in love with it. But I'll let her tell that story. Do you ever have that feeling when you like meet somebody and you're like, hey, I'm supposed to know that person for some reason? And I want to introduce you to my friend, Miss
Teka Ann Haynes.
Hey everybody, we just had lunch at Bogarts, and what do you think?
It was delicious. It's great barbecue.
It really was.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the conversation. Great food. Recommend that for anybody that loves barbecue. It was really, really good. But
Burnt ends.
Burnt ends. And I had the pulled pork. It was delicious with some coleslaw. And I want to talk to you. You came here, you moved here how many years ago?
Just under 3 years ago. Yeah, Inland Empire.
Yeah. Like really pretty.
Nice.
And you were like, what?
I was like, St. Louis? Like, I've never lived landlocked before in my life. Are you sure? Like, Missouri, in the middle of the country? Like, in the middle of the country? It's landlocked.
There's no beaches
there
here,
are no beaches.
right?
There are no beaches. I've
There's no
never not
beaches.
lived by a beach in my entire life. Who moves to who leaves Southern California and moves to St. Louis, Missouri? And
well, I did once.
It's work and it's career advancement, so I was like, okay, let's explore it. So it's one of the few places we've never been before. He came out, he said he liked it a lot. I was like, I'm still not sure. I came here first before the kids did some school shopping and went around the city and went around the county and was like, oh my God, yeah, we could live here. Didn't fall in love with it yet, but I was like, we could live here. And then we moved here. I'm in love. I'm in love. My kids are in love. My husband, we love it. Like I will say this. I'm completely shocked, completely blown away that I love it. One of the things I think is pretty cool is that I feel like St. Louis is like this hidden gem. I feel like it's like, I'm like, how have I never even vacationed here? Like, I think this is like an excellent vacation spot. I mean, there's so much to do and so much comes through St. Louis. There's always a tour, there's always a fair, there's always something happening in the city.
Yeah.
And then you think about all the attractions here. And like, my kids are 9 and 7. Like this, I've been telling my friends, we've had so many people visit us here because if you have kids, I don't think you're gonna find anywhere like this with such a huge concentration of so many different things for kids to do. And it's all so inexpensive. I mean, we moved from Southern California, you understand? You go to our zoo here,
It's free.
it's free, it's humongous, and there's so, like, you can't even do the whole thing in a day.
No.
You can't even do it all in a day. I mean, like, so it's just like, who would have known? Like, more people need to know. That's how I feel about St. Louis now. So that's how we've invited
And that's
so
why
many
we're telling
people.
you. That's
exactly.
why we're telling you.
Yeah. So, we've been inviting people nonstop here, inviting them, because there's so much to do here. I'm so in love here. Like, literally, I've told my husband, like, we're not leaving St. Louis. like, I'm like, if you move somewhere for work, you're coming home on the weekends, because we're staying. Like, we're staying. And I'm so in love with the school. I'm in schools. I'm so in love with, what's available to my kids here. I really want them to go all the way through high school here in St. Louis. I'm in love with the culture. I'm in love with this place. It's super artsy.
Well, that's a thing,
I didn't know
right?
that.
That's a thing, like where the St. Louis thing, like where did you go to high school?
Yes.
So at least your kids will be able to say where they went to high school in St. Louis. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Totally a thing. I'll tell people I didn't even go to high school in the United States, right? I went to high school in Jamaica. So, but it really is just an amazing, amazing concentration of people. Culture, super, super, super artsy. I mean, who knew that? Like, who knew we had this many museums and so many creatives in one place? And as an entrepreneur, it's one of the things I've fallen in love with St. Louis is there's so many startups, so many people who are thinking out of the box, so many creatives here. I had no idea.
Well,
It's beautiful.
I'm glad I followed a hunch. I'm glad I said, hey, let's grab some coffee because I really enjoy meeting, getting to know you. And there's so many amazing people, and we're gonna show you those guys and their stories, and there's so much to love here, and we're gonna focus on that. So my whole channel is inspired by St. Louis. Everything that I do is inspired by St. Louis, including meeting people,
Yes.
great restaurants, fun things to do, and that's what we showcase here on this channel. So really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching us, and be sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel wherever that's at, and we will talk to you on the next one.
Nice seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.